On this episode of Junkyard Jeep, we patch rotten floors and we install new drivetrain on the green turd. So let's get to it before this dog breaks my phone. Alright guys, we are in the midst of the battlefield here. There is just absolutely nothing left of this tub. Jeez. The 2 years it sat out in the dirt, it just got really bad. All the water got under all this roof coating. There was a bunch of Bondo out here. The water just stayed under the Bondo. It all rotted away. So this is all had to be patched. This is just nothing here. And same thing here. The floor pan had separated from the side of the tub and was just falling out, so I had to brace it. We're gonna do the same thing here. See where it's pretty weak because it's not connected anymore. We're gonna put a big long piece of channel in there. Here too, you can see we're gonna put a piece of channel here too. And then over here, I could have already had this thing running and driving. Look at this. So this is all just rotted away. It's all had to be cut out. So I have braced it here with channel on the inside. We're gonna fill this with caulking. Fill this all in with caulking, brace it with some really thick 1/4-inch diamond plate. And on the inside, it just gets better and better. We're gonna channel it here, channel it there, and then that'll all be nice and solid again. I think this is pretty good here. This is all good. This is all good here, thankfully. The other side, I don't know why that side was so much worse than this side. So yeah, let's get to it. Good grief, this thing is turning into Swiss cheese. Yeah, it's a puzzle box. It's like if you put Frankenstein together with metal plates. So the rust just kept giving and giving and giving. So this top pan separated from here and was just completely pulled apart, so I had to put this plate here. Down here, this plate, the pan separated from the back of the tub all the way down. It was just hanging there, and that all had to be replaced. Here, there was a little rust hole, so I just tried drilling it out, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the metal just kept flaking away, and so finally, it was a hole like that I had to cut out, and so that all had to be plated. What a nightmare. Keep in mind, this is just a Thrasher Jeep. This thing, I'm just putting these plates in here so I can continue to thrash this thing without falling through the floor. So yeah, this tub is way too far gone to even do anything nice with. This is just to be able to keep thrashing it and making more awesome videos with it. And breaking parts. And yeah. Because breaking parts is the main thing, because without breaking parts, there's no content, pretty much. Alright, tech tip. And this does happen from time to time, you guys. So, you'll beat in your U-joint, and what'll happen is, if you see here, see how the cap retainer is sticking out, and this cap retainer is kind of flat? Well, this U-joint is too far this way. And so it's really tight. and it's going to heat up and explode. So you want a little bit looser than that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tap, actually, yeah, we're going to tap here and relieve some of the pressure off of this to where this is flat again, and then we'll have a nice happy U-joint. So we're just going to set it here. Won't go the other way? No. All right, now let's try it. Still a little tight. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Ah, perfect. Okay. You just want a little resistance when you push them. You don't want to have to use all your strength to turn it, but it should be just a little tight. Just about like that. And drive shafts are ready to go in. We got our pilot bushinger pull-em outer in, and I had to beat it in really far to get it past the pilot. I had to beat it in really far before the forks would actually spread out behind it. If you don't beat it in all the way, the little forks won't grab behind the pilot. It'll just slip out. So that's in. I hit the flywheel with some, what is that, 400? What is it? No, 220. With some 220 here. And that's good enough for full send. Now we're just going to put on our beer altimeter that screws in right here, our slide hammer. Tighten this a little bit with a wrench. And get this old rotting pilot out of here. All right, and there is our old pilot. So if anyone needs a Ford T18 to Chevy V8 pilot bushing, let me know. There it is. I'll send it to you. There's no part number on it, but that's what it looks like. Cool. Out with the old, in with the less old and still crappy, but gonna work for what we're doing. All right, guys. This is starting to look a lot more like something and a lot less like auto salvage. Got our T15 in. working great. We got our Dana 20 shifting beautifully. I think the when I had the T18 on here, I think I had like the Scout cluster gear on a Jeep output gear, and it was binding, and which is why this wouldn't move. Something, I don't know. But yeah, this all works great. Floors are done. I know this thing still looks like an abandoned job site. We just changed the oil. Does this thing still have all 330 horses to give me? Does the green turd still have it? Are we down a cylinder? Are we down a half a cylinder? Did a valve get stuck with varnish because it sat for 2 years? I don't know. It ran good last time I started it, but I didn't drive it because the trans was messed up. Wow, this is coming together, man. Coming together like an A-team plan. Next order of business, we've got to get our front drive shaft on. And then once we get our front drive shaft on, we're going to finish the wiring. This nightmare here, all you need is some ragu spaghetti sauce. You'll have yourself pasta. Fix that nightmare. See if it runs and drives. I think I'm going to need a new master cylinder. I think it finally gave up the goods. Because all the wheel cylinders are good. I just replaced the wheel cylinders 2 years ago. So I think the master cylinder shot itself. And once we get it stopping and starting and drive around the block, we are going to completely repaint this whole thing. We are going to grind and sand and wire wheel everything. We're going to hit this turd with 400, then 200. And then we are going to whack this thing with some kind of disgusting green color. This is the original green here. Right there. Would be cool to sand all this crappy black off and just have that, but look, we're just going to redo the whole thing. But right now I have students, and I need to go pet my goats. So let's go do that. All right. Back in the habit, still at it. We got our T15 in, which I put in by myself in the dark, armed with only a flashlight, so that was fun. This Dana 20 transfer case went on pretty easy. All I did is I jacked it up a little bit, put my knee under it, and just pushed it up onto the gear, no problem. But I think because of this adapter plate, which is like, what, 3 inches thick? Whatever that is, pretty thick. Because of that, the holes don't line up. So I just have the middle hole right now, so I think I have to drill some holes because I'm not comfortable with just one bolt on each side. So we have to do a little bit of finagling, but whatever, it's doable. Because that's the only way that the mount lines up with the cross member. So whatever, we'll make it work. Now we're putting in our drive shafts. I have to put shorter drive shafts in, or longer drive shafts, I mean, because the T18 that came out was much bigger and came out further. So I had to get longer drive shafts to accommodate the shorter and not nearly as awesome T15, but T15s are good. They're decent 3-speeds. So we got this one done. Apparently a 72-5 cj5, cj6 with T14 drive shaft works perfectly. This one's good to go. So this one got these from Willys Works used. This one is doable. You have to do some scraping and cleaning and beating. Here's what I do with these crusty, rotten, old drive shafts. And there goes my wire wheel. So I'll just wire wheel these guys with some PB Blaster and then grease them a little bit, and then I'll just beat in my U-joints. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, guys. Still cracking on this hot rod. Bodywork, done. Drivetrain, done. Oil change, done. Everything lubed up, done. What's left? Wiring. Not so done. This is all going in right now. So wiring, put in starter, make run, right? Make sure it charges. Then we got to we have to sand all this crap off. Whoever did this black primer is just awful. It turned into lizard scales here. So we got to come and hit all this, get it smooth again. See, it's everywhere. It'd be a lot of sanding, man. So we're gonna have to sand this thing to death, because I can't paint over that. We're gonna have to sand this to death, spend a good, I don't know, hour and a half just sanding and sanding and sanding like mad. Then we are going to paint this some kind of green. I am going to try, see if I can find something close to that, because I love that speckle. I bet you this was speckly green before it faded 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. New master cylinder on the way. This doesn't seem to be holding pressure, although, you know, pads and wheel cylinders are new, so that's going to get changed. That's the last thing that I've changed. And then we'll see if this hot rod still has all 330 horse. Still have to, if you can see, have to hook up my clutch linkage. So let's do all that and get cracking. Well guys, it's the end of the day. As you can see, it is so cold out here in Tucson, I can't believe it. I am wearing a jacket and a beanie, which is incredibly weird. I'm still thinking there's 110 degree days coming. So let's see. I'm really nervous. I'm worried about the engine. I hope it runs on all 8. I haven't driven it yet. I just hope all the valves are seating and sealing and all the rings are still good. It's a new engine and it sat for 2 years and I primed it so before I started it, so I hope everything's good. So that's the next thing. Transmission and transfer case seem to be in excellent working order. This goat seems to be in excellent working order. I'm just taking a break from wrenching, guys. Any lame excuse to go pet goats is a good excuse. Hi, guys. Hi, pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl. Uh-oh, here comes jealous stuffing. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you not getting enough pets? Ah! Territorial goat fight. Whoever wins in this fight gets pets. Go. No, don't fight, guys. Don't fight.